Hello, American and fellow world human. You are not destined for a 1% life. And I'm sorry that I'm not sorry about saying that because I seriously don't know what will make you uncomfortable about that. Because the data says it's been proven since about 1962, which is ironically 62 years of consistency, which is where we began tracking the wealth gap of the 1%. And when this started, this 99 to 1, or 1 to 99, was roughly 125 times that, 125x of the American household. Just for additional context, the household net worth between the 1 and 99, 99 and 1, was up 225 times, or 225x by 2009, essentially doubling between the years of 1982 and 2016. So the only real question I struggle with is, why are you so worried and stressed? Why is it the 99%, which is clearly bigger, viewed as success? Because in any general math equation, as I just said, 99 beats 1 every time. But oddly enough, we know that 99% of the people just won't get there, and that doesn't feel right. So we base our lives primarily off of that reality, which is a really, really, really big reality. So let's go some of this together in slightly more granular for pay scale, because we know how much we care about that. Forget 1% as a millionaire, which probably gives you all the warm and fuzzies, like, oh shit, millions. To just breach the 1%, it's not even millions. Technically, to get there requires you to make $652,657. It's a lot less than a million. Now hear this. Over 80% of Americans make less than 6 figures. So forget about even the lowest of 1%. It's not going to happen for you. And of the 100% of people who make 6 figures, only 8% of them are women. So there's that whole gender disparity thing we got going on. So again, what are you stressed about? You're winning. Over 80% won't accomplish this. That's greater than whatever's left over, which is less than 20%. Where you want to be, 80 or 20? 80 is bigger than 20. And again, that's not just millionaire status or even the lowest of 1%. That's just 6 figures, 100K or better. So relax. You're in the higher likelihood, the higher data point. You are the higher average. But there is hope. As and because most of us are in relationships, that means more than double the income. 1 and 1 is 2. The math keeps going in your favor. But only 1/5 of households combined make even between 150 and 250,000, which technically makes sense because so few people make 6 figures. The likelihood of 2 people coming together and averaging that is about as low as 1 person making it. And another obvious acceptance here, since we're on all these great subjects of how you're winning, you're likely to work 90,000 hours over the course of your life. So not entirely sure what you're complaining about, because imagine committing that much time to doing something you didn't really want to do when most of us do it anyway. And according to this, only about 3% or 3.5% of people in America are unemployed. So this is, for almost all of us, at least right now too, in its current form, 1/3 of your current life. And this is not only not unknown, but clearly accepted by most people. And don't tell me no, because clearly we see the numbers dictate that. But since I know how we are, we get all in our feelings. I know how important feelings are. And you want to argue with me regarding the word acceptance, that's fine. I'll word play with you and I'll just say, accept however you then define it and chalk it up to semantics. Because once the debate ends and you and I part ways, the data is the data. So what are we actually talking about anyway? And anyhow, speaking of parting ways, one marriage ends every 36 seconds. Fucking crazy. And roughly 50% of marriages end in divorce, with the median range being 8 years. You know, because I do. Forever. But see me at 8 years. Shockingly, you might have surmised this. Couples that make more money together have a higher success rate of staying together. And this clearly has everything to do with money, because money solves all problems. It has nothing to do with the strong likelihood that those who are compensated more financially are higher performing, more fulfilling, and gratifying contributors to society through their professional endeavors, thus rendering them more complete, actualized, and emotionally, financially, physically, and spiritually mature Americans or humans. Sorry, that was a non-intended semi-tangent, and I digress. But I guess that doesn't really matter because, well, we now know the data again, and most people aren't 99%. Yeah. So here's some more data in your favor that should alleviate any complaints, concerns, or issues you have regarding the obvious around you not being destined for 1% status. 90,000 hours of work, which I said earlier, that translates into the average American working about 34 and a half hours a week. The average American also watches 33 hours of TV a week. That's almost the same amount of work. Wow. Also spends 116 minutes a day, or about 2 hours, on social media alone. While also, this is your 99% do this, 5 hours a day on their cell phone, 11 alcoholic drinks a week, exercises about 17 minutes a day. That's productive. It's about 17 pounds overweight, and reads about 4 books a year. So as we go through that, and as I reflect and hear that, totally get it. There's no time for anything else while you are busy living the high life of the expected 99%. So what am I getting at here? I don't know. Maybe this is not all that bad. And maybe this isn't all that bad because, cliche Jeff alert, I believe this isn't all there truly is to life, but also maybe this isn't half as bad because there is no way you and I don't already know this. And therefore, by language and definition, as I said earlier, accept this as a reality. Your reality. And if it makes you feel better, I'll drop my ego and say, my reality as well. Whatever. We live it. We breathe it. Worse, we teach it. And I know that you know that we know there's only one way out of the 99%. And none of it is anywhere near the averageness you exude today. And nothing I tell you will change that so long as the onus continues to be on someone else. Because if you haven't accepted this reality with grace, humility, and great faith, you 99%er, then what the fuck are you doing to change it? Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Stay rich.